Hey, what's going on people? It's SGZ here from the SpartanGameZone, and in this video we'll be counting down the top 5 legendary gear that'll massively increase your damage in Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. Every Batman needs a Robin, and these are the best Robins in the game that help Batman do his job more effectively. P.S. You're Batman. I'll be letting you know what each item does, where you can get them, and explain how best to use them in order to increase your DPS. If you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate it if you could drop a like, and if this video helped you out and you want to help me out too, then you can always hit that subscribe button, or even follow me on Twitter, and let's crack into it. We open this countdown of the best legendary gear that boosts your damage with the Championship Ring, a legendary ring that can be obtained anywhere from the world. So if you're looking to get one quickly, the Buff Bunnies are your best bet. The Championship Ring is a ring that boosts your power when you need it most, doubling its effects for a while after you deal damage to a boss. It's one of few legendary rings in the game that increase in power by 100% when their condition is met, and it'll be in effect for the whole time you need it. Both its main and secondary stats will become twice as strong after dealing damage to a boss, and will automatically make that boss fight a whole lot easier. If you're looking for a ring that is guaranteed to help you out in the toughest circumstances, then this is it, and it works equally well no matter your build. Moving on now to Smart Armor, a legendary piece of armor that has an increased chance to drop from Vorkanar. You fight around here in Mount Craw after completing the quest Slayer of Vorkanar, which you can start around here. Smart Armor is like a trade-off between chocolate and that fake chocolate, giving you more of the one you want and less of the one you don't. It boosts critical hit damage by 50%, but reduces the chance of you landing one by 50%, and that trade-off is almost a no-brainer. Having this equipped gives you even greater reward for hitting those well-placed shots, and because that's where you're aiming most of the time, you rarely see its negatives. Generally, it's great and will comfortably make you a whole lot stronger, but there are some circumstances where you need that crit chance to function. When casting spells, commanding companions, or even stabbing people, you don't have control over where that damage lands, and may find that the damage isn't worth the reduced chance. It's also possible its negative effects will prevent guaranteed crits when and from the shadows, so that's something you need to weigh up. However, its critical boost can't be ignored and makes it one of the best pieces of gear to instantly raise your damage. Now to the Amalgam, another piece of armor. This one has an increased chance to drop from Monstrous Shroom. You fight as part of an ancient obelisk task in Wheatwild Dankness around in this area. The Amalgam is the best all-round armor piece you can equip in Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, not for what each one does, but for what they're capable of doing. Unlike other pieces of legendary armor, the Amalgam amalgamates. It doesn't have a unique effect, instead combining multiple passives, which is in itself its unique effect. It spawns with 5 passive rolls instead of the typical 3, and when RNGesus smiles upon you, you can't get much better in the Wonderlands. Of course, its worth completely lies in its stats, and getting 5 worthwhile rolls that complement each other is a nightmare, but once achieved, you'll be incredibly powerful. The thing that makes it even better, maybe not now, but definitely later, is that its gear begins to get more powerful through increased volatiles and the higher power levels yet to come. So will this item. Where the critical damage boost of Smart Armor is capped at 50% no matter the level or power, in the Amalgam those extra 2 passives are going to have a much greater effect. This armor piece works fantastic on everyone due to its versatility, but again is dependent on your rolls, which may see it escape your grasp for extended periods of time. Next up, a spell, the Buffmeister, which can only currently drop from the world, so that means to the Buff Bunnies we go. The Buffmeister is the only legendary self-cast spell in the game, and it's an incredibly strong one at that. It is the bearer of buffs, boosting different stats depending on if you get Zap, Bonk, Kachow or Pew, but they all increase move speed. Zap boosts spell damage, Bonk increases the punchy, Ka-Chow is all about ability damage and ability crit chance, whereas Pew will be one with you, increasing fire rate, reload speed, and all stats pertaining to accuracy. It also deals bonus damage based on its strength and the spell's element, and the greater the duration, the better. You can't go wrong equipping this spell, and it's perfect if you want to use your spell slot as another means to grow stronger. Turns out it is also broken with the spell shot's ambidextrous skill, which adds your second spell's power into its bonus damage, which is night and day compared to without, and if it wasn't a bug it would take top spot, no question about it. Before number 1 is revealed, let's dive into some honourable mentions. First up, the Body Rune, a legendary ward, which has an increased chance to drop from Bunny Dog, one of the raid bosses in the Chaos Chamber. The Body Rune is a fantastic shield, particularly while mobbing, boosting your offensive and defensive capabilities. It adds 20% bonus fire damage to each of your attacks for a short time after you kill someone, and fills up 15% of your max health too. The damage buff is long enough and powerful enough to have it continue forever, granting you that nice fire damage boost for your entire mobbing run. Unlike other shields that increase your damage, this one is activated naturally, simply by killing something, allowing you to play how you normally would and reap its great rewards. It gets even better in multiplayer with other players who have rune shields equipped, allowing you to all share their effects. Dealing damage in a bonus element is always nice, and you can't go wrong with fire. The next honourable mention I have for you is the Handbow. It's a gun which has an increased chance to drop from Captain Swallow. You can fight around here in the overworld. The Handbow is on this list in a conditional sort of way, boosting your critical hit damage every time you swap to it. It has the highest critical damage boost of anything in the game, sitting at 76% from what I've seen, and is always there to be applied when you need it. It's easiest to apply to stickies, but there is the potential to use it elsewhere, with big damage increases to be seen all around. The last honourable mention I have for you is the Last Gasp, another ward, which has an increased chance to drop from Zomboss, who you fight around here in Shadowgrave Barrow. The Last Gasp is a shield that doesn't boost damage directly, but instead increases your fire rate, reload speed, and will regen your ammo while depleted, which are always great ingredients to increase your DPS. Aside from the natural damage avenues you'll see increased, certain weapons like the Circuitous Gyre, which increase in fire rate the longer you hold the trigger, will benefit from its ammo regeneration, keeping you at its maximum RPM for longer. Its regen capabilities also apply to stickies, allowing you to stack more for a higher damage ceiling. Its buff window is short by default, but good nonetheless. Number 1, we're here, we made it, and what's the most effective legendary piece of gear to increase our damage? It's the Cursed Wit, the game's most powerful ward, which has an increased chance to drop from Ribula, who you fight around here in Snoring Valley. The Cursed Wit is the go-to legendary piece to increase your damage massively. It is a little circumstantial, but you can often play to its strength and be mighty stronger for it. It straight up doubles your damage while it is depleted and grants you 17% damage reduction. However, there is a caveat in that you must be face to face with your enemy to receive the full salty bonus. Often that is easy to do and will see you absolutely drain their health bar comfortably before it starts recharging. Generally you won't see its effects active while mobbing unless you go searching for it, but it will increase your damage while downed, and it comfortably blows all other shields out of the water for damage potential, making it worth having equipped all the time anyway. High recharge delay is best for keeping in line with its effects. You can try pick up a low level one to help it break more easily, and spell shots can pick up glass cannon to avoid the shield recharge phase altogether. It also pairs extremely well with the legendary mood ring, which is another damage boosting item you can add to your list. They go in tandem and are perfectly made for each other. So that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it and learned of the top 5 legendary gear that boost your damage in the Wonderlands. If you did, consider dropping a like or subscribing, and I'll catch you in the next one.